When we think of the sound of a wave crashing, it's loudest and carries with it its widest frequency range at the beginning of the sound, at the moment of impact. And as it approaches the shore, the sound thins out. It becomes more brittle and carries with it less low end. It also gets quieter as it goes. We can use a couple of modules to recreate these elements and reimagine a voltage-controlled crashing wave, starting with a noise source, which will stand in for the water, a high-pass filter, which will be the thinning agent as the water travels towards the shore, and an amplifier, which will control the overall level of the sound throughout this event. So, to begin, let's patch a noise source to a high-pass filter. The high-pass filter removes low end. We'll patch the output of the high-pass filter into the signal input of an amplifier. And if we increase that, we have control over the level of the sound independent of its timbral adjustments through the high-pass filter. These need to be modulated to simulate the motion of the water, and to do that I'll be using a looping function generator, or if you have an LFO, that'll work too. Same thing, basically. I'll take the positive going voltage output from our LFO, and I'll patch it into the CV input of our amplifier. So now, as this goes high, the level goes high. And I'll patch an inverted copy of this, slightly attenuated, into the cutoff frequency input of our filter. And I'll increase the frequency cutoff. By having these two modulated by inverted copies of the same voltage, we can recreate that phenomenon of the wave crashing and having its most volume and its most frequency. And as the water moves towards the shore, we can also have it be quieter and have less low end, less bass frequency information. Also, if you'd prefer to manually trigger your waves, patching a gate into the trigger input of this function generator will do just that. Now there can be as much distance between these waves as you like. To add a little bit of variation, because no wave is ever going to be the same length as the one before it or after it, I'm going to patch a voltage output from another looping function generator to the overall time base input of our first looping function generator. This would be a speed CV input if your LFO has that instead. So now, as this voltage increases, the overall length of this function generator will get longer. So there will be a kind of unpredictable variation with each passing wave. Finally, I'm going to patch this sound through a very light reverb. The beach is not a particularly reverberant space. There isn't a lot for the sound to bounce around. But just a small amount of reverb can really put forward the idea that this sound is happening somewhere. Plus, there's always sand dunes or something for the sound to bounce off of. It's not unheard of for a sound to be reverberant at the beach. It's just a little bit of glue and fine detail that really helps put the sound in a context of an environment. And with the length of reverb or the color of reverb, we can then shape what sort of world this is occupying. Is it sand? Is it dirt? Is it a concrete beach? The different kinds of reflections these materials would put forward can all be described with the type, size, and color of the reverberant treatment we add to the end of it.